Okay, so first, thank you so much for helping us, supporting us, and we will start posting all our resource and also the access to the Zoom with the instructor. This seat is limited. So if you are interested in getting involved more by getting into the same live event with the speaker or with the creators, please support us on Patreon. We have 3 membership limit, and different of it has different types of perks. So feel free to support us. Okay, so today I am going to share with you how I did from so if you can go to the beginning, I will show you how to create 3D buttons. And then the shaders are using universal rendering pipelines. And when your hand go and grab, okay, you grab the actual items, and the 3D bubble serves as the 3D buttons. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so if you can see my screen, if you don't know how to set up XReality scene, I can share with you really quickly, go over, but if you want to get into how to do it, feel free to go to our Patreon. We have a very thorough step-by-step of setting up on Patreon. But if you want to kind of like just having the general understanding and without really replaying, watching, you can follow our LinkedIn. But anyway, so let me share with you a simple way. And if you don't know how to set up, you have to watch our previous video and get the access. Okay, so first thing is that you need to get a camera rig, and you need to get a path through and remodel through the tools on building blocks, right? So those are kind of like the SDK, MetaQuest SDK. If you want to have the link, feel free to check the previous video. It has all the links provided. Okay, so yeah, so you need to add a camera rig, you need to add a pass-through, to add remodel, and you need to add hand grab, and also synthetic hands. You can try different things, and within pretty quickly near future, I will share with you the virtual keyboard, which I'm still learning. Okay, so those are the setup. You just go there and start adding the building blocks there, and it's pretty much serving as the previous framework. If you happen to work on the previous version before, this is much easier, but because it's so automated, it it has a lot of things that you still need to customize it, but it's at least it has a really simple base for you to start working on. Okay, so what I want to share with you is this part. This part is, it has a cloud. And the cloud will start rounding around the colors. If you support on our Patreon, you should be able to get this color circle code, which I use ChatGPT to generate. Okay, so if you see this, what I did was I used like emissive materials, and also I grow colors, and the color will start running different colors. For example, start from yellow, green, blue, and then you will start using coroutines to cycle through the colors. Yeah, so this is also available in our source code. Yeah, and remember to put like gliders on top of it, so it will later on will have other functions you can do. And this is just a character thing that I built for my IP. So later on, if you get the source code, you should get a blocks instead, like a 3D blocks. So for example, if you have your own IP, you can feel free to swap your character design or any thing you wanna replace. Okay, so show parent. So what I did was that I put materials. I purchased Unity store and I applied the bubble materials, graphic bubbles. You should be able to get all the assets as well. So yeah. And then inside I put a 3D model. So because you can pretty much see through this kind of universal random pipeline shader. So this is like a very interesting way of doing it. Okay, so what I will do is I will kind of like detach it, and also I will show you how I made it step by step. Okay, so this is the parent, right? The reason why I do parent is because if I just directly do this, I want later on serve this as a container. I want to disable it. If on Collider enter, so I pretty much put it in on Collider enter on top of it. And if this is kind of like a being triggered, then this will be disappear. So you can use this, but this one is more serving as later on you can put another code on top of it. Okay, store bubble pretty much serve as a parent, and you can put a collider. The reason why you put a collider is because on collider enter, you need a collider. And when something enter, you need some types of indicators. For example, I use like the name tag. Later on, I will share with you. And button bubbles, which I create 2 of the script for button bubbles. So if you go to button bubbles, you can see that I pretty much use button bubbles. And first one I put weapon, and second one I use is sword show. Is sword show means that I want this sword to be show. Yeah, is sword show. Okay, so okay, is sword show means that whether this button being successfully interact. Okay, so you can see this one and this one, right? So what I did was I used manager to tell those 2 shut using updates. So the reason why I do this types of setting is because I find out that if I didn't do kind of like the upper layer to close those 2 bubbles down, then it might likely to be closed or the entire game object being destroyed. And then the weapon still couldn't really be showed just because it's just too sudden. So I kind of put those 2 and I use this to shut down. Okay, so if you see this, I put weapon, I put is still showed, and also I before a wag, I wanna find this L middle, this make. Okay, so what does this mean? So this means that if you go here, if you go to the right hand anchor, go to visual interaction. It takes a long time just to find where is where, but once you find out, you might be able to do it. Okay. You might need to take a kind of like a slow mode just to make sure you get it. Okay, cool. So this is a synthetic and it has all the hand knuckles. Okay, so in this part, and there's a sword. If you enable it, you can see the sword is pretty much on your hand like this way. Okay, and I put a health slider which means that later on, if the player get attacked, then you will see those like the health slider goes down, but that's later. So this is just a part of a game, just serve as a feature. Okay, so this sword will be disabled. And then if you go to, so this, if you see the code, this one, oh, this is right, but it's the same knuckle. So yeah, so this one, I did some testing and figured out which one is the more natural way to hold things. So this one looks the most nature one. Okay, so this one, and we need to use this as a parent and get child, the first child. So you use this transform and get child and get the game object. Okay, then doing the on-trigger collider, if the hand is left hand. So I just use kind of something that is that if this other slider, it has the tag called left hand. So you can see this one. This one I put like the right hand, but you can see like a different. Yeah, so it will start to see like, oh, if it is the left or right, it will start to getting into, for example, like this one, right? It's this one R, right? This one has the, pretty much this has the right hand. Yeah. So if you see right hand match not, right? And I also put the right hand here. So pretty much this glider, and remember you need to put a rigid body. Rigid body, because for a glider, you need a rigid body. A glider enter, you need a rigid body just to make sure that, yeah, it's kind of clean, right? Okay, so you can have the sword also has glide. Okay, so this one, okay, so let me share with you. Okay. So for left bubble, you need to make sure the weapon is there. And also you need to show like, oh, would tell the manager whether this shield is, you can change to shield is fine. So pretty much if this shield is shield, means that if the button is being interact, then please do something which is destroy the entire bubble. The bubble serve as a button, so once you grab it, it should be disappear and you can move on. So yeah, so what I did was you find those game object. So one is the parent, just to make sure you got the weapon. And later on, if your hand get into the on trigger enter. So yeah, so this is actually on trigger enter. So on trigger enter, all you need to do is make sure that the bubble is being trigger. You need to do on trigger enter. Okay, so yeah, weapon set active true. Okay, so interaction. Okay, so the left hand is the same thing. It just changed the yeah, right to left, and make sure I use this to kind of set active true, set active false. So you can totally do like a set active true or false. So pretty much the effect is treating the entire bubble thing as a on trigger enter. Once you enter, the bubble disappear, and instead the weapon 3D object on your hand will be set active true. So pretty much it's a very simple things for both left and right hand. Okay, so this serve as the kind of like the final thing. Okay, so if you wanna try it, share with you. See. Same build. Okay. Okay, so I can build it and you can see how it goes. Yeah, so for this part, I will share with you little by little for small feature, and you can look at all different features and compose your own game. So this is pretty much what I see. And this is the upcoming one. You will see the mushroom monster is shooting me, and there's like a health things, and it's just jumping. This one, I'm still debugging it, but you will see later. Okay, so that's about it. Thank you so much for joining us today, and support us on Patreon to get all the sources.